What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons, and today this video is a result of you guys. You smashed the like button on Superman vs. Goku 3, you absolutely killed that. It's doing way better than most of my videos. It's already passed like 10k views last couple days. It's doing amazing, and you obviously want Infinite Frontier Superman and Dragon Ball Heroes Goku covered by me. How are we going to do this? Well, I'm going to make a super detailed video on Infinite Frontier Superman scaling right now. And then after this, I'm going to make a super detailed Goku from Heroes scaling video. And then I'm going to make their battle with my personal take to go along with the debunk when their video drops. If you guys are a fan of this, smash the like button. Let's hit this to 500 likes. You guys crushed that goal on Superman Goku 3 review. So you might as well crush it again. That'd be amazing. And the faster I drop the Heroes Goku scaling. But without further ado, I'm going to be doing this in feats first, from the start of Infinite Frontier to now. I'm going to also do it with their comic issues, which comic they're from, and all that, so you guys can go check context if you need to. You can also purchase the server where I have all my Superman scaling from Rebirth on. Literally every issue in chronological order. And then I'm going to do his statements, and then I'm going to give some cosmology notes so you guys have further clarity on the scaling. Without further ado, let's get into it. Before I start with all this, shout out to my guy GB helping me really organize all these feats. He helped put them in order, and it allowed me to make this amazing video and get it out a lot more quicker. First feat is from Superman Volume 5, 2021, Issue 28. Superman fights a being that was created and prepared specifically to fight him. Affected under an orange sun, he still defeated this creature. It's stated during the fight by Lois that Superman empowers people, and in turn they empower him. All energies, including hope and love, feed Superman's power. Future State Superman Worlds of War 2021 Issue 1. Gog was a character created in response to the events of Kingdom Come, and if you want some issues involving that, and to reference for this, that's Gog Villains 98 and The Kingdom 1999 Issues 1 and 2. Driven insane by the power he possessed, he became one of Superman's most ruthless villains. The Quintessence gave Gog gifts of power, but in doing so, they gave him access to power far beyond their own, power of the Source, aka the power beyond creation. The power would be enough to one-shot Mixie and kill Superman of different times and worlds thousands of times over across different stories. Current Superman seems to have grown in strength so much that the power of the Source is not enough to draw his attention away from saving a child with a smile on his face. Next is Future State Superman, Worlds of War, 2021, Issue 1. Monsters that defy logic itself pour out of a rip in space, and Superman fought them back, all of them, and returned within 2 days after the space tear closed behind him, taking no damage upon his return. Future State Superman, Worlds of War, 2021, Issue 2. Superman fights depowered on Mongol's war world. While he fights, he doesn't seem to injure the other fighters because he knows they didn't choose to be here. He then goes on to tank a blast from Mongol that kills the other fighter. He is damaged, however, even depowered, he is still kicking. Future State Superman, Worlds of War, 2021, Issue 2. Depowered Superman has been killed by Mongol so many times Mongol has lost count, saying it's well over 10,000. Still, Superman maintains his sanity and remembers those he loves. His only wish and desire is to free every slave on Warworld. Superman's will and power goes beyond even death itself. Action Comics Volume 1, 2021, Issue 1032. Sick and dying, contaminated with radiation poisoning. Superman fights a being that has been driven insane and amped by the Source itself, the dreams of gods. Negging illusions and energies from this Source amped being, he was able to fight back. Action Comics Volume 1, 2021, Issue 1031. Superman, due to his sickness, has slowed considerably. Even still, he stops the US and Atlantean military from fighting and steals the Genesis Stone from Atlantis. This is considered to share the same energy with the Source, by the way. Aquaman knows he can't stop Superman, even with how weak Kal-El is right now. This puts a heavily depowered Superman above pissed off, healthy Aquaman. Action Comics Volume 1, 2021, Issue 1037. Superman, suffering from radiation poisoning, is still holding his own against Mongol, who wields kryptonite and has his war world powered by a red sun. Literally, one of the strongest beings in existence has amps from all things that conventionally weaken Superman. Action Comics Volume 1, 2022, Issues 1021 to 1039. Superman is too weak to fight as he normally fights, which is basically him outstatting everyone. So he has to learn the ways of war world combat when he loses all his stats. And this is a place that has enslaved all forms of life throughout DC. You can argue by the end of this, Superman should know almost every form of combat available and known in the DC's multiverse. Action Comics Volume 1, 2022, Issue 1040. The people of Warworld have grown to view Mongol as their god, an ideal they hope to one day become. Superman, weakened by the radiation poisoning and red sun energy, fights this same god and manages to tackle him and take blows that have killed other warriors on Warworld. Action Comics Volume 1, 2022, Issue 1040. The Genesis Stone is buried deep within Warworld, and Superman has touched one of the veins connected to it and started absorbing its energy. The Genesis Stone was stated early to share an energy signature with the source, so this is crazy absorption from him. Action Comics Volume 1, 2022, Issue 1042. Superman fights off Mongol while depowered. This is crazy because this is a Mongol that's considered the strongest Mongol ever. Action Comics Volume 1, 2022, Issue 1046. Superman races through the Necropolis, a maze from which the Genesis Stone originates and emits source energy. A manifestation of this same Genesis energy gives Superman a riddle to solve, and he solves it without thinking much of it at all. Action Comics Volume 1, 2022, Issue 1046. Superman defeats a remnant of Olgrun and passes the test to receive his flame and his power. Olgrun, for reference, is a god and can grant godlike power, which Superman easily can absorb. It is stated it will make Superman stronger than ever. Superman, Warworld Apocalypse 2022, Issue 1. Mongol kills a Kryptonian child in front of Superman, and a depowered Superman is so enraged that he draws blood from Mongol with one punch out of fury. Superman, Warworld Apocalypse 2022, Issue 1. Superman, completely powerless, defeats Mongol in combat, and at the end, his powers return just as his friends converted the Red Sun with Genesis power so that the power returns to all Kryptonians on Warworld. Future State Superman, House of El, 2021, Issue 1. A civil war has broken out amongst Kryptonians with a bit of parademons, warzoons, and doomsdays thrown in the mix. While Kal-El has been gone for so long that by now he's considered a myth, all seems lost until he returns and blows all the doomsdays away with his arrival. Future State Superman, House of El, 2021, Issue 1. Returning from being trapped in a dimension by Cersei, it seems he was trying to help this dimension, which was in need of a Superman, so he came back to get his magic-born son and take him down after effortlessly overpowering him. He then blips off to whatever dimension he's needed in to go to. Infinite Frontier, 2021, Issue 1. Superman possibly is faster than Flash. At least, that's what this shows us for now. It also can be interpreted as relative in speed. Justice League Volume 4, 2021, Issue 59. Superman casually holds back a demon, and this is important because this same demon just a few panels before was overpowering the broken Black Adam. Infinite Frontier, 2021, Issues 2 and 3. President Superman, aka Calvin Ellis, struggled to hold off Magog's power, something we saw that Clark did effortlessly in a prior story or incarnation. This means the current Superman is bare minimum above Calvin Ellis, who is impressive and will be explained more in a second. Infinite Frontier, 2021, issue 6. President Superman, who struggled against Magog, is able to break the chains from Ultimate Darkseid that binds the multiverse. Darkseid seeks the power of the Great Darkness, and losing his chains and lantern ring ruins his chances of this. He even goes on to say the Omniverse is now out of his reach. Current Superman scales massively above Magog, who is relative to Calvin Ellis, which is this President Superman, and he just broke the Omega Chains from the strongest Darkseid to ever exist at that point. Justice League Volume 4, 2022, issue 70. Superman lists the various things contained within the Fortress of Solitude, like a Sun Eater, Phantom Zone projector with the Phantom Zone, and even a red sun itself. This matters as it shows his insane Kryptonian tech, but also it shows what he has captured. Justice League Volume 4, 2022, issue 71. Superman's interdimensional prison was opened by the Royal Flush Gang. It unleashed powerful beings like Trigon and more. He then helped take them all down and put them back. And in the end, it was stated worse not to release those beings, but rather to tick off Superman, which is an insane statement. Batman and Superman, World's Finest, 2022, issue 2. Superman and Batman face threats that are controlled and amplified by Devil Nezza. While dealing with Felix Faust, Superman shows off his infrasound whistling, which induces extreme vertigo and paralyzing muscle cramps. It took multiple deities and masters of magic for reference to imprison this Devil Nezza. Batman and Superman, World's Finest, 2022, issue 3. Superman sees through and breaks illusions so strong they make Batman panic, a character with nearly unmatched resolve. Batman and Superman, World's Finest, 2022, issue 5. Superman seals Devil Nezza in the Phantom Zone. Nezza then breaks out, so Superman then seals Nezza in the original tomb that served as the original seal. Locked inside, he uses the Phantom Zone projector in himself, breaks it before he faded completely away, and uses the breach that Nezza created in the Phantom Zone to return home. This is insanely fast thinking by Superman, and a very good showing of battle IQ. Action Comics Volume 1, 2022, issue 1048. Superman one-shots the new god trash bag, Calibac, son of Darkseid. Action Comics Volume 1, 2022, issue 1048. Superman defends the boy who wields the power of Olgrun, who, of course, this comes from his time on Warworld. And he's defending the boy from Orion, the new god, and draws blood from the god himself with a punch. Action Comics Volume 1, 2023, issue 1049. Because of the white sun of Warworld that radiated source energy, Superman is more powerful than he's ever been, and he puts Calibac down again, crushing his weapon, and ignoring Orion's attempts of offense, and goes to put him down next. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, 2022, issue 5. A new infinite multiverse has been born while another is being corrupted by the darkness. Superman is reunited with the League, which Pariah knew would happen, but because it only made his machine stronger, he didn't care. Superman rips apart the imaginary worlds Pariah put them in using his powers and that of the darkness to confront Pariah again. Superman even brings back dead and lost heroes with him. Dark Crisis on Infinite Worlds, 2022, issue 6. Superman saves his son from Doomsday landing a finishing blow, stopping Doomsday dead in his tracks. Keep in mind, this is a modern Doomsday, beyond the prior forms of Doomsday naturally. Action Comics Volume 1, 2023, the infamous issue 1050. Superman again becomes stronger than ever, and he says concepts have largely lost their meaning to him as he defeats Lex and escapes Lex's traps and prepped tech. Action Comics Volume 1, 2023, issue 1053. Superman appears in the cell of Lex Luthor. We know he can move through space and dimensions easily now, so it's safe to assume this was some sort of teleport. Wildcats Volume 2, 2023, Issue 5. Superman and Majestic have a disagreement, which results in them fighting, and Majestic being effortlessly overwhelmed and overpowered in this confrontation with Superman, as Superman just left him there. Wildcats Volume 2, 2023, Issue 5. Majestic's guard dog, aka Spartan, tries to save Majestic from Superman, but is forced to immediately report to his own team that he won't last too long in this encounter. Superman Lost, 2023, Issue 1-2. Superman and the League come across an artificial black hole that threatens all life on Earth. Superman decides now is a good time to show off his genetic Kryptonian ability to become one with a black hole. He stabilizes the black hole and keeps it from expanding further right before going directly into it to make sure it gets off of the planet. Superman Lost, 2023, Issue 2. Superman is on a planet where the sun and gravity are so different from Earth, it's like he has to learn all of his powers over again, and he does so in an instant. Action Comics Volume 1, 2023, Issue 1054. Superman uses the Genesis mineral within Metallo's core to amplify his power and summon a projection of himself and bully Metallo. This ties back to the War World arc as mentioned prior. And with that, we're going to conclude the feats and move on to statements. Now, first for the statements. Action Comics Volume 1, Issue 975. Mixie is telling John about how him and Superman had influence beyond the fictional world into even the real world. John even seems to know about some of this, which means Superman does as well. Future State, Superman, Worlds of War, 2021, Issue 1. People have no faith that Earth will survive long without Superman. Even the universe itself would fall. This is the hope he provides to all. Future State, Superman, Worlds of War 2021, Issue 1. Superman himself, at full charge, could power Earth for 9,000 years. People think when he died, he actually transcends and becomes pure energy driven by his will. Which, they aren't entirely wrong, given what he actually is in comparison to existence. Action Comics Volume 1, 2021, Issue 1030. Superman is showing signs of slowing down, cellular decay. Batman thinks it's radiation poisoning, but Palmer still says his level of power is off the charts even in this state of being. Action Comics Volume 1, 2021, Issue 1037. Superman is stated to be all-powerful and has never failed to bring down an enemy that he truly means to defeat. He is the most powerful ally you could possibly have, according to beings that literally observe the universe and the multiverse for activity. Action Comics Volume 1, 2021, Issue 1038. Superman has fallen at the hands of Mongol. The radiation sickness, the kryptonite, the red sun were all too much, but as he is changed, they reference the greats he's defeated in the past, like Mongol Sr. and Darkseid, referencing he is at and above the accomplishments of his prior forms in the history of Superman. Action Comics Volume 1, 2022, Issue 1041. Midnighter doubts he can survive Warworld without Superman, is in shock to see Superman flying on a planet that emits red sun energy, with a lot of implications being possible given Midnighter can see all possible outcomes. Action Comics Volume 1, 2022, Issue 1043. Superman says exposure to the Genesis has only brought back a fraction of his power. The Genesis was stated earlier in the story and in this video several times to have source energy signature, which is crazy to say it only restores a fraction of his power. Batman and Superman, World's Finest, 2022, Issue 1. Superman is going haywire because Metallo injected him with red kryptonite. The heroes of DC are worried all hope is lost, while Batman tries his best to calm Superman down. Justice League Volume 4, 2022, issue 75. Calvin Ellis explains the danger of the Great Darkness to Superman, and how Ultimate Darkseid has fallen to its control. He says he should have went to Kal-El the moment this all started. The implications here are obvious and follows the chain of scaling we established earlier. Dark Crisis 2022, issue 1. Hope is the greatest power in the multiverse, stated by Pariah, who has seen what the Great Darkness is capable of and can do. Now, here are several stories you can reference if you want evidence for this next statement provided in current comics. But Dark Crisis 2022, issue 1, The Phantom Stranger, Trinity of Sin, 2014, issue 18, Justice League Incarnate, 2022, issue 4, Doomsday Clock, 2019, issues 1 through 12, and The Sandman, 1989, Deluxe Edition, Part 2. Now, when Pariah said hope is the strongest thing in the multiverse currently, even though he had seen the Great Darkness, or at least a fraction of its power, at his fingertips, it's because Superman, as the embodiment of hope, has pushed back the Great Darkness many times before. Pariah and others have seen this time and time again, and it's been observed him having godly power. Night Terrors, First Blood, 2023, issue 1. No power on DC Earth, no matter what it is, even if you combined them all, none of it holds a candle to Superman's heart and will. Now, with the statements out the way, let's get into some of the cosmology quick notes. Now, what else from the cosmology notes can help you understand these feats and statements more? Let's get into it. Infinite Frontier 2021, issues 1 and 2. The multiverse is said to not even have boundaries anymore. No source wall and possibly no sphere of gods. We see this might be true when Barry travels to Earth Omega, where the Quintessence was killed by True Form Darkseid. Batman and Superman, Authority Special, 2021, issue 1. The Dark Multiverse changes everything on a fundamental level, even comic art style, showing the vastness of the different multiverses. Infinite Frontier, 2021, issue 3. Black and Omega Lantern Rings can traverse Overvoid to a different multiverse entirely, showing the incredible range now within creation. Infinite Frontier 2021, issue 6. Flash finally stops running as he cracked through one multiverse to another, only to realize Multiverse 2 is the aftermath of the first crisis. Results of the Anti-Monitor destroying infinite worlds, and now Pariah sends Flash back to another time from another age. Here's where Dark Crisis begins. This also once again shows that this is the largest DC's cosmology has ever been, as the prior Crisis events are easily traversable. Justice League Incarnate, 2022, issue 4. The origin of creation mirrors everything since Final Crisis, and because we know now that Dr. Manhattan was sent by the Great Darkness, it would see not only that does Superman shape and affect the Overvoid and Source, but also resist the Great Darkness itself. This also shows how this multiverse and creation is beyond the prior showings. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, 2023, issue 7. The Speed Force combines with the light of creation to push back the Great Darkness and makes the multiverse infinite in nature again. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, 2023. Pariah could only harness a fraction of the Great Darkness. It was mostly all in his head. Time and again, throughout reading Superman stories, he's resisted both the power of the Source and Great Darkness at times. But the fact Pariah said hope was the strongest thing he had observed in the multiverse, with all that was going on, is impressive. Now, we got that out the way, let's get into the conclusion. Despite Infinite Frontier Superman only being a thing since 2021, Infinite Frontier Superman still has had incredible showings and statements throughout his many appearances since then. He is stronger than he has ever been, with obvious narrative showings of the prior stories and versions, including everything from Final Crisis and Cosmic Armor Superman. He has undersold hacks, such as his ability to change his DNA to merge with cosmic anomalies, and he can control them. His whistling can dismantle physical forms. His energy absorption includes up to the fundamental energy given off by all things living, and he can absorb powers akin to the Source. He has incredible Kryptonian tech and can control things like the Phantom Zone, a dimensionless realm, and interdimensional prisons that can hold the likes of Trigon. Concepts like speed, space, and dimensions have lost meaning to him. He can easily harness source level energy and even go beyond it. He has housed the powers of gods and usurped it. His story of hope is an infinite what if that can't be threatened by erasure. His impact goes beyond the narrative and impacts even the real world. The multiverse is endless now, and the stories are larger than ever before. And even more, Superman remains the hope that DC rests upon. He is the last son of Krypton, the pinnacle of what every hero should strive to be. As his current author stated, he is meant to be beyond all power, for he is incorruptible. He is hope. He is Superman. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of Infinite Frontier Superman, all his feats, statements, and all his showings. I hope this helped you guys get a firmer understanding of how broken he is. And again, if you want access to all these scans and order all this information and even more, hit me up to talk business. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.